Okay. Miss Adams likes this book too.
I do.
She was a little upset when we didn't start reading it. Okay. Because of Mr. Terupt by Rob Bouye. Okay. Part 1. September. Peter. I do want to preface this book with, why do authors write certain, maybe things that might make us uncomfortable? Why do you think authors would maybe write something that makes us uncomfortable? Gio?
So, like, do you like something to... Never mind.
Okay, well, here, I'll just tell you why. The reason that authors might put, and it's not in this chapter, but I'm just saying, throughout this book, you might, like, hear words or see things that we would not typically say or would like to see happen in our school, and that's the reason why. Like, they put these things in their stories so that we are aware of how it does make other people feel. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's in the story, and then you see how it makes the other students feel, type of thing. Right. Okay, so just know that. Okay, markers down. Thanks. All right, here we go. Peter is our first student. It's very tiny print. Okay. It's our bad luck to have teachers in this world. But since we're stuck with them, the best we can do is hope to get a brand new one instead of a mean old fart. New teachers don't know the rules, so you can get away with the things that the old timers would squash you for. That was my theory. So I was feeling pretty excited to start 5th grade, since I was getting a rookie teacher, a guy named Mr. Terupt. Right away, I put him to the test. If the bathroom pass is free, all you have to do is take it and go. This year, the bathrooms were right across the hall. It's always been an easy way to get out of doing work. I can be really sneaky like that. I take the pass all the time, and the teachers never notice. And like I said, Mr. Terupt was a rookie, so I knew he wasn't going to catch me. Once you're in the bathroom, it's mess around time. All the other teachers on the floor were women, so you didn't have to worry about them barging in on you. Grab the bars to the stalls and swing. Try to touch your feet to the ceiling. Swing hard. If someone's in the stall, it's really funny to swing and kick his door in, especially if he's a younger kid. If you scare him bad enough, he might pee on himself a little. That's funny. Or if your buddy is using the urinal, you can push him from behind and flush it at the same time. Then he might get a little wet. That's pretty funny too. Some kids like to plug the toilets with big wads of toilet paper, but I don't suggest you try doing that. You can get in big trouble. My older brother told me his friend got caught and he had to scrub the toilets with a toothbrush. He said the principal made him brush his teeth with that toothbrush afterwards.
Oh my God.
Mrs. Williams is pretty tough, but I don't think she'd give out that kind of punishment. And I don't want to find out either. When I came back to the classroom after my 4th or 5th trip, Mr. Terupt looked at me and said, "Boy, Peter, I'm going to have to call you Mr. Peabody, or better yet, Peter the Peer. You do more peeing than a dog walking by the mile of fire hydrants." Everybody laughed. I was wrong. He had noticed. I sat down. Then Mr. Terupt came over and whispered in my ear. My grandpa used to tell me to tie a knot in it. I didn't know what to do. My eyes got real big when he said that. I couldn't believe it, but that didn't matter. Mr. Terupt just went back to the front board in the math problem that he was going over. I sat there with my big eyes, and soon a smile too. "What did he say?" Marty asked. Marty's desk was right next to mine. "Nothing," I said. Ben and Wendy leaned across their desk to hear. They sat right across from us. Our 4 desks made up table number 3. Mr. Terupt sometimes called us by tables. "Nothing," I said again. It would be my secret. How cool was that? How cool was Mr. Terupt? His reaction was better than being yelled at like the old farts would have done. Some kids in my class would have cried, but not me. And somehow, I think Mr. Terupt knew I wouldn't. It was his way of letting me know that he knew what was going on without making a huge stink about it. I liked that about Mr. Terupt. He sure could be funny, and I'm a funny guy. This year, for the first time in my life, I started thinking that school could be fun. Okay, so Peter, let's make maybe we'll do like two students per page. Okay? Yeah. So, let's make this Peter's page. Okay, if you had to give Peter, listen, make sure you're writing this down. If you had to give Peter a, I don't know, like a, yeah, like, you know how like, no, like you have like the athletes and like the you know, like the
Jokers.
class clown or the jokers. I would, yeah.
Or Joker persona.
Okay, make sure when you're writing in your boxes that you are keeping your handwriting small. It's a long book. Hey, shh, guys, we're not done yet. We got like 3 more pages to read. Wade, Maddox. All right. Here's our next one. So we're just meeting 2 students today. Our next girl's name is Jessica.
Jessica the
Hey, recording. You're gonna be sounding silly on my video forever. Okay, here we go. Jessica, Act 1, Scene 1. The first day of school, I was nervous, somewhat. The sweaty palms and dry mouth syndrome struck. This wasn't surprising. After all, I was coming to a brand new place. My mom and I had just moved all the way from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, over here in Connecticut. Okay, they're saying they moved from the west to the east. So it was my first day in Snow Hill School. My mom came to help me get settled. We walked through the glass doors in a beautiful entryway and stopped in the main office to ask for directions. A red-haired woman, who proved to be exceptional at multitasking, greeted us with a smile and a slight nod. She did this while the phone rested between her ear and shoulder, allowing her hands to scribble notes from a conversation she was having in her free ear with the brown-haired lady standing next to her. We waited. My fingers dug into the cover of my book. "Hi, I'm Mrs. Williams, the principal." This was the brown-haired lady speaking. She looked serious, all decked out in her business suit. "Welcome to Snow Hill School. Can I help you with anything?" "We're looking for Mr. Terupt's room," Mom said. "I'm Julie Reitman, and this is my daughter Jessica. We're new in town." "Ah, yes, it's a pleasure to meet you both. Let me show you the way." Mrs. Williams led us out of the office. I glanced at the secretary one more time. She'd be a great character in one of Dad's plays, I thought. My dad directs small plays in California, where I still want to be. "How are you today, Jessica?" Mrs. Williams asked. "Fine," I said, although that wasn't really true. We followed Mrs. Williams across the lobby and upstairs in search of my new 5th grade classroom. The halls smelled stuffy, but clean, like they had just been disinfected. I wondered if the custodians had done that on purpose, to make a show of how clean their school was. I followed Mom down the blue speckled carpet and past the rows of red lockers, where some kids were already unloading new supplies. I could feel all their eyes studying the new girl in town. After the stares came the whispers. My face burned. "Here you are," Mrs. Williams said. "This is your floor. There are 4 classrooms up here, all 5th grade, 2 on each side of the hall with the bathroom right in the middle." Mrs. Williams pointed as she spoke. "That's your classroom." She pointed again. "Room 202. Have a good day." "Thank you," Mom said. I just nodded. Act 1, Scene 2. We walked into the classroom. The teacher looked up from his desk and smiled at us. The butterflies in my stomach fluttered as if I were on a tilt-a-whirl. "Good morning, I'm Mr. Terupt," the teacher said as Mom and I walked in. He came right over to greet us. "Good morning," Mom said back. "I'm Julie Reitman, and this is Jessica. I think she's a little nervous being the new student." My tongue felt so swollen that I couldn't talk. I settled on returning Mr. Terupt's smile. It was a friendly one. "Well, this is my first day too, so I guess we'll try to figure things out together," he said. My smile grew. "Your seat is right over there at table 2. You're with Natalie, Tommy, and Ryan." Being near the window should give you some good reading light. That's a great book you have there, Jessica. I looked down at my book, A Wrinkle in Time. I rubbed my hand over the cover. I really like happy endings, I said. Me too, Mr. Terupt said. I'll do my best to give you a happy ending this year. I smiled again. I couldn't believe it. My teacher was new too, and he liked what I was reading. I don't know why, but somehow he made my butterflies disappear and my tongue shrink. Things were going to be okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Jessica might be the new girl. So I'm going to say from California to Connecticut. Okay, from California to Connecticut. With her mom. Where's her dad?
California.
So what can you maybe infer?
Dad has